Hi, I know this is like the third video that I've made today, but this one actually matters, whereas the other two are kind of just me being bored. Um, Today I'd like to talk about, operating systems, not just Linux, but I've been thinking about, you know, what is a valid reason for going from one operating system to the other. The example that I came up with was when Vista was out, I didn't like it, and so I thought, okay, I have three options: uh, go to Linux, um, go to Mac, or get XP. Um, Now I had to look around, so um, and at that time I didn't think Linux was ready. I didn't like Tiger um, for the Mac. I just I just didn't think it was good at all. Um, so I went to XP, and then I went from XP to Ubuntu because I used, well, I went from Vista to Ubuntu, but I thought that um, 9.10 was, yeah, it was better than previous versions, um, but it still wasn't quite ready for a complete Windows replacement, if I'm honest. And then but then I got 10.4, and yeah, it is a complete Windows replacement, no doubt. um and so the question is, when would I be willing to change again? I mean, would it be, I don't think that Windows could. I've tried Windows 7 and it's good and I like it, but what I get from Linux is, you know it's perfect. And so I'm not sure if Windows will ever um, manage to do something that can surpass Linux, in terms of, because you have to keep in mind, Ubuntu is a complete Windows replacement, and it is, honestly. It's not like old Linux, which is all terminals and stuff, but it is completely, a full desktop um, OS with the GUI and all for general user. Um, Whereas Windows is 100 quid. So let's think about Mac. I mean, I like Snow Leopard. I do. I really do like it. Um, but would I be willing to go from, well, firstly, buying a Mac, which, I mean, if it was an iMac, it'd be £999 for the basic model. Um, so the question is, overall, is Snow Leopard? It's not a case of is it as good, but is there anything that's majorly different from Snow Leopard than there is from Ubuntu? And yeah, there are things are a lot. There's a lot of differences, but I think essentially they're both really good. And the fact is that I'd have to buy a Mac. So at the moment I have this operating system that's completely free, which is running perfectly for me. But then I just kind of feel like I want to change. Like, I don't know. I just have to accept that Ubuntu's great. Ubuntu works perfectly. Um, so generally, this is what I'm thinking. Windows 7 can't match it. Snow Leopard could, but the investment, maybe when I have money. Well, let's say that if I had 999 quid, pretty much 1,000 quid, don't know if I would I buy a Mac. I'm really not sure. Because there's so many good things. Like, things I like about the Mac. There are things I don't. Plenty of things I don't, but I don't want to dwell on those because I don't want to seem like I hate closed software. Um, I like how firstly, they're beautiful. They're better for the environment, and yeah, that's got to be a good thing. You know, the operating system's easy to use. I've used it at the Apple shop, BTW in London. We now have the world's biggest Apple shop, but that's not relevant. So, would I switch from um, Ubuntu to Mac? I mean, Snow Leopard's good, but it doesn't really offer anything majorly different. Considering, I mean, it does, but considering I have to buy a Mac, it doesn't. That's the thing. So, the moment, what would you define though? Define as making it worth my while buying a Mac. What difference is? I mean, from Ubuntu, what kind of things would be enough to compel me? Because you have to keep in mind, Ubuntu is completely free, complete operating system for free. So it's going to take a very good operating system to try and make me go from a brilliant operating that's free to something even better. And I think Apple might achieve that, but it's just that I'm happy with Ubuntu. And Tim, he was saying that there's two types of buying. There's people, well, actually no, there's three. I've added the third one. There's buying out of morals, which I really do. I've done that before, and I think it's a very humble thing to do. So, for example, buying AMD instead of Intel, stuff like that. There's also, but then there's buying out of what's best. So generally, you know, it depends on what I need. Like Vista was no good, so I just get XP. That brings me on to third. People will often buy or download software just because they think it's the norm. So people get IE because they think it's normal, or people will buy the latest Windows operating system just because they think that, you know, that's what they have to do. And also fanboyism. They buy it even if it's bad. I know Windows fanboys who have bought Vista just because it's Windows, and they wouldn't accept it's bad. They had loads of problems, and I know they did. They just couldn't accept that it was bad. So, I mean, this is a video I really want you to comment on, because I really want to know what you think, because I'm in a bit of my head's all like odd. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that do you think Windows 7 can match up to Ubuntu? Do you think that Macs are worth? Do you think that Macs are now more developed and it's worth investing in one in comparison to having Ubuntu? So I really want to know what you guys think. So yeah, thanks. I promise this is the last video I'll make today. See ya.